So how do you make dry, boring, or highly technical topics entertaining? That's the topic for this video, and let's do it in an entertaining way. See, I always give this frame. What if I had to explain how computers work to a room full of grandmas and I only had 15 minutes? What would I do? What would you do? How could you explain everything about how a computer works to someone who grew up when it was still pen and paper as the primary source and computers didn't even exist? Now, the way I like to think about this, and the main number one idea I want you to take away, is to take the large, abstract, technical topic and personalize it. I had to do this very recently with one executive who had 15 minutes to sell a room of 85-year-old congressmen on the importance of cybersecurity regulations. That's a pretty tall order. I'm sorry, that's a very, very tall order. You might as well be saying how to explain quantum computing to that room full of grandmas, because how do you get extremely busy, extremely non-tech savvy individuals to explain something as deep and nuanced as cybersecurity regulations? Here's what we didn't do. We didn't generalize it and talk about how great the technology is, how it's going to help the masses. We didn't point out any of the logical arguments that one would have for why we need more regulations to protect people. We didn't even talk about the risk that it had to the population. What we did was we took the idea of cybersecurity, this large, broad, technical topic, and we explained the impact of what it had on one individual person. Let's call him Tom, a 27-year-old who lived in Maryland, USA. We talked about how the regulations would make him feel safer, or how the regulations, or lack thereof, made his life harder and less secure. And then we spoke about the impact that this would have on the congressmen themselves, where they would be flooded then with tens of thousands of angry complaints from people just like Tom. We took a broad technical topic and we made it personal to the people who are listening and to the people that they serve, because then that reflects their priorities. What do they care about? So no matter if you're talking about quantum computing, cybersecurity, new AI regulations, the blockchain, anything that usually, or just in general, the law or accounting, or name your pick, topics that often cause most audiences to tune out within the first 10 seconds. Ask yourself, how does this impact Tom? Am I pointing out the true impact to a single person that we can resonate with, we can connect with, we can visualize? Or am I just speaking to the general masses? And here's a 201 version of this. Talk about how does this impact Tom? And talk about how does this impact Sarah, who lives on the other side of the country in a completely different way, other side of the district in a completely different way. And when you can do that, you can truly make any conversation exciting, entertaining, personal, that ultimately drives people to take action. Because we can all visualize Tom. We can feel for Tom. Tom needs a break. All right. Thanks for listening. If you like this video, check out all of my other ones. Cheers.